out as I come through. Busting in your line, cracking helmets in. I bring the pain, so what you gon' do? Stand there and just get shook out ya. So clean out your locker, I'm out to get ya. Cause I just popped ya. You can't take the pressure. You might as well quit cause you just can't last. Madden 2000, put your face in the grass.
Austin Safarian-Jenkins, the first touchdown of Jameis Winston's career.
And your pride in the dirt, so put on a skirt. If you come on the field and don't wanna get hurt, just bruised and beaten, all black and blue. And it's been like that since Madden 92.
Welcome back, everyone, to another session of Buccaneer Blake Sports with your host, Mr. Buccaneer Blake himself. Now, lastly, where we left off was re-signings, free agency. Some things caught me by surprise, some things didn't. I like it when I'm right. Sometimes I like it when I'm real right. And they did things I didn't expect them to do. They got people I didn't expect. I guess it comes with having coaches that have a more rapport in the league with other players, and our players are more familiar with systems and stuff like that. I guess that's what helped out with some of these signings we're going to go into. And yeah, it's just some things caught me by surprise, some things didn't. So let's start off with who the Bucs let go. I said Bucs let go of a personal favorite of mine, Danny Lansana, a guy who was working 9 to 5 out here in Tampa and got a job. He's in the 30-plus club. They decided not to pick up his contract, so they released him. Hopefully he'll get a job somewhere. He's a real nice guy, nice story. Great starter in the league for his little short tenure. And I'm glad something he'll remember for the rest of his life. And I appreciate the time that he had here. Bruce Carter didn't really work out. I got to watch him the 4 games. Quan Alexander was out. And Bruce just did things that I thought he would not take home from being at my camp out there at UNC. And I thought he would play well. And Jaworski Lane is another guy we let go. I guess we're going to try to find fullback or run tight end as the fullback, or use an H-back, or whatever we're going to do with the new system. But we haven't picked up a new fullback as far as I know. Jaworski Lane is not on the roster. Let's go into the players that Bucs kept. We kept Bradley McDougall. We decided to re-sign Chris Conte. Those pair was pretty good. Both had ups and downs, but a lot of it has to come from pass rush. It'll help out a lot once we get our pass rush under control. And of course, the re-signing that I said would happen, and everybody should have known it was happening, was Doug Martin re-signed to a 5-year contract. Now let me say this. Everybody kept saying, oh, Blake, Doug Martin's going to leave. Doug Martin's going to leave. Blah, blah, blah. The only person that said Doug Martin was going to leave wasn't even Doug Martin. It was the media. The media has to write stories. The media has to create quite a conundrum, if you want to say. Do you know what that is? Look it up. They created quite a conundrum that got people flustered. He might leave. Talking about, oh, they're looking at Lamar Miller, which I'm sure they did. Matt Forte and stuff like that. They look at guys to replace him in case if he left. But if you saw the statement that Doug Martin wrote, he never had any intentions of leaving. They were going to work out a contract one way or the other, is what he said. As a matter of fact, his exact quote was, I had never planned on leaving Tampa Bay for any amount of money. So that tells me right there, everything, all the other stories were bogus and just to be written, just to be written. Thus, I told you guys before, don't jump on something and put your full emotions into stuff until you see the whole outcome of it, or proof or stats out of it. Let's add the key additions now. Robert Ayers came from New York Giants, was drafted to the Denver Broncos. He played now look at these stats. He played in 12 games and registered 9.5 sacks. Played in 12 games, registered 9.5 sacks. That's pretty good for being not playing full 16 seasons. And he's a veteran guy. Remember I said veteran. Remember what I said before in our last talk. Veteran defensive lineman, veteran corner. Rookie defensive lineman, rookie corner. But let's see what happens. I said, and then they pick up Brent Grimes. Veteran defensive lineman, veteran corner. Brent Grimes. He's 32 years old, but the kid has found the fountain of youth to a 2-year deal. We can keep him in there, maybe coach guys here, and get them on the fast track. Guys like Jonathan Banks, Sterling Moore. Sterling Moore personal favorite, played on all the number ones last year and fared well. And, yeah, Jonathan Banks, Sterling Moore, and maybe Jude. Hopefully he can make the roster. And added Josh Robertson. He only played in 5 games last year. Didn't really register much stats. Could be due to injury. I'm not quite sure. But he's only registered down for playing in 5 games. Now, I'm not sure if he did any kick returning services as well for Vikings. Could be another key factor that we picked up, because we do need to fix our special teams kick returning preferably. And the real surpriser here, that shouldn't have came surprise, I really thought we would draft one, is we picked up J.R. Sweezy from Seattle Seahawks. Now let me tell you about J.R. Sweezy. He's a big guy with a run block, but let me tell you things that you don't know about him. He was drafted in the 7th round from my home state, North Carolina. He went to NC State. He played defensive end for NC State, not lineman, defensive end. I mean, not offensive guard. He played defensive end for NC State. Played in 35 games. He had 20 starts, and he had, I believe, 13 sacks or 11.5 sacks or something. Yeah, he had not bad stats. He started his junior and senior year at NC State and then changed to offensive lineman in NFL and won a Super Bowl in Seattle. I mean, great for him. It's a great, amazing story to change the total position and actually be on a winning Super Bowl team. That's kind of crazy, actually. So best of luck to him. Thank you, Buccaneers, for filling holes in the need, because right now my whole mock draft now is all tore up, because I really don't know what we can pick. We can pick anything at 9. We could trade back at 9. We could pick up Laquan Treadwell at 9. We can pick up the best player we want at the 9th pick, and because we filled needs in the offseason, and all we can do now is just add to the team now. I guess if whatever player falls, we'll pick up. We'll see what happens. But let me go ahead and give you my mock draft here. I said in round 1, I'm going to go with Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle from Louisville. Quick interior lineman, about 6'1", 275-pound range. Very quick off the ball, showed out on tape, and very athletic. Showed out on tape, showed out at senior day. Just quick moves, much like Aaron Donald, but stronger and bulkier than Aaron Donald. But not to say that it might happen. We'll see. Like I said, it's not unlikely that we pick another defensive tackle, because remember at times when McCoy gets hurt, we had a lot of interior linemen get injured as well as exterior linemen, and it'd be nice to have, in case Clinton McDonald goes down again, Rankins could step in with Aaron Spence, or McCoy goes down, Rankins could step in, and you got another rotation. That's kind of what they do in Seattle. It's more of a rotational thing that makes it work. That makes the whole thing work as a working unit, a working cog. And that's who I got with the number 1 pick so far. It's very tough to pick. Honestly, between me and you, they might trade back, but right now it's Rankins. I said the 2nd pick, I kind of torn against it, but it makes sense. He might go in the 1st round. To be honest, he might go to the Chiefs again, because they might do this, because he's a really, really good corner. And that's William Jackson out of Houston at the 2nd pick, and with our 8th pick in the 2nd round. William Jackson out of Houston, very good corner, can play covering receivers on the man and zone. Very big, athletic, skilled guy. I think we could use for the future. Again, Brent Grimes is 32. He's not for a long-term thing, and that could help build a future now. 3rd pick, this shouldn't come as a surprise for much if you don't know much about him. Quan Alexander might know him quite well, and his name is Darren Jones out of LSU, undersized linebacker, about 6'1", 238. a guy that can run sideline to sideline with much speed, like a safety. I think he could do things here to fill that strong side outside linebacker spot that's left by Danny Lansana. Since we couldn't get Whitehead from the Detroit Lions. My 4th round pick, and this one is really, I watched this guy. His dad was coaching for the team, and I really think he's a beast. Please look at the tape on this guy and tell me what you think. The 4th round pick, I really hope he's there. I'm going to be going nuts if we get him. His name is Bronson Kaufusi. Bronson Kaufusi, BYU defensive end. Defensive end out of BYU. Big kid. About 6'7", 200 and was it 68 pounds, 285 pounds, I believe, and ran a 4.8 40 at that side. This kid is beastly. He can move off the edge. He can move people, and he creates havoc. As a matter of fact, let me get you the exact stats of the kid. I should have it already ready, but I told you this is one of my personal favorites because I watched this kid and I honestly didn't know what was going on with him. I didn't know what was going on with him coming into the draft because I didn't hear much about him. But then again, that's people slip between the cracks. Here we go. Give me 1 second here, guys. Yeah, excuse me, 6'8", 280 pounds. 6'8", 280 pounds at defensive end from BYU. Bronson Kaufusi. His dad's the coach of of the Cougars at BYU. And he managed to register at his final season. Managed to register, I think 10.5, 11 sacks at BYU. That's amazing. It's just disruption. It's not always about sack. It's disruption back there in the backfield. And I think this kid will pair him up with Jacquez Smith. Again, Robert Ayers isn't a long-term deal for us. He's 30 as well. Jacquez Smith, Will Golston. Now you're gonna get this cog in here, and and it could work out. Pair it up for the future with Sheldon Rankins. I know I got two defensive picks coming in, but I think it'll work out. And let me give an honorable mention at the number 2 pick in case William Jackson is gone. My honorable mention would be Notre Dame wide receiver Will Fuller that ran the fastest 40 to 4.32 in a C-graded class, a wide receiver class. I'm gonna give him honorable mention at the second pick because we could pick a wide out and somebody could spread the field. A Deshaun Jackson-like player that has drop problems because I believe if he has a lot of drops, I think he has smaller hands maybe. I don't really get into all that dimensions on people's body parts and all that like the draft does. They measure literally everything you got. Yes, they probably wouldn't know that too, because you're almost butt naked, like you're like cattle out there when they look at you. But yes, let me finish on Bronson. That kid, 6'8", 280. That guy can move a 4.8 40 at that size. Don't believe me? Check him out yourself. Alright guys, I broke it down for you. I'm not going to keep you long. It's late as always, 4 o'clock in the morning. I have insomnia. I can't sleep. Like you can tell by my face, I'm wide awake. Thanks guys for checking me out. I'll post this up in the morning time, and you guys stay safe, and I appreciate everything you guys do and checking me out and showing me love. You guys stay safe. You're the master of everything you do with your life. What you do with it is up to you. Thank you guys.